Okay, so we have some idea now of what a proof looks like, how they're supposed to be built. We have some idea. We've started filling out our proof toolbox a little bit. So now what I want to do is I want to add two more pieces before we go on to more advanced proofs. One piece that I want to add is how the linear pair cycle works. Remember that the linear pair is actually a freebie, but it actually requires us to have some given information too. So it's kind of a half freebie. And then I also want to talk about something called CPCTC, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about linear pair. So we know that angles that are a linear pair, you should know this by now, the definition, they are adjacent, which means next to each other, they share a ray, and supplementary. Okay, but we're trying to figure out things that are congruent. So how does knowing that angles are supplementary really help us out? Well, let's take a look at this situation right here. Here I have two pairs of angles that are both linear pairs. So I've got this angle here and this angle here. They make up a straight line, they're supplementary, and they share a ray. So this is a linear pair, and this is a linear pair as well. What if you knew through given information or through some other way of proving, what if you knew that this angle was congruent to this angle? Let's just make up a number. Let's say we knew that this angle was 110 degrees and this angle was 110 degrees. If you knew that to be the case, wouldn't you then also know that this angle and this angle would be congruent? They would both be 70. So if you know that this angle and this angle are congruent, and you know that these are a linear pair, then you can also know that this angle and this angle are congruent. So let's use this diagram and actually write up what this would look like. So you would have the rest of your proof, whatever it is, or I'm sorry, or you could even start with the linear pair cycle if you wanted to, and you would have the following. You would have whatever step you're on. I'm going to call it step one, but whatever step you're on, you would say if linear pair, then supplementary. So in this example, we would say that angle ABD and angle CBD are supplementary. And we would also say at the same time that angle WXZ and angle YXZ are supplementary. Okay, now in step two, we need to know that these parts are congruent. So typically that's going to be given information, but it might come from some other way. Maybe, I don't know, parallelogram. I don't know. Maybe somehow you know that these two angles are congruent. Typically it's given. So let's pretend that it's given. So I'm going to say given angle ABD is congruent to angle WXY. Okay, so now here's the step where we're going to say, in step number 3, here's the part where we're going to say, if I know that I have supplementary angles, and I know that two parts of those pairs are congruent, then that means the other parts are congruent. And the way we write that down is the following. If angles supplementary to congruent angles, then those angles are congruent. So our conclusion here, which is what we're trying to get angles. Now we can say that angle CBD is congruent to angle YXZ. This actually has a name, this guy right here. This is called the congruent supplements theorem. Okay, you're not going to write congruent supplements theorem, but you should know that that exists. You're going to write it out just like this. So when you go to the practice here, after we talk about the backside of the notes, when you go to the practice, when you see the linear pair, make sure you look at the notes and also look at my answer key to make sure that you write it up properly. All right, one more thing. CPCTC. Okay, now that's an acronym. It actually stands for something, and we'll talk about what it stands for in just a minute. But here's basically what it says. If you know that two triangles are congruent, so like in this case, we know that that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. We know that they're congruent by side angle side according to the markings on the diagram. If you know that two triangles are congruent, then you can say all their other corresponding parts are congruent. So I already know that segment AC is congruent to XZ. I already know that angle ACB is congruent to angle XZY. And I already know that side CB is congruent to ZY. But now, since I know that the two triangles are congruent, I can also say that this angle is congruent to that angle. I can also say that this side is congruent, this angle is congruent to this angle. And I can also say that this side is congruent to this side. So I used the parts in black to prove that the two triangles were congruent. But once I stated that the triangles were congruent, now I can additionally say that all the parts in red are congruent to each other. So this is what CPCTC stands for. It stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Now stop the video and read that 3 times, and you're going to see that it makes perfect sense. So how do we use it? We use it like this. It's only 2 steps. Somewhere along the way, you've got your entire proof, and somewhere along the way, you're going to prove that one triangle is congruent to another triangle. And you would do that through the 5 methods that we've talked about, just like you did in the last lesson. So this would be what you've come to know as the last step in the proof would be one triangle congruent to another triangle. But now we're going to go an additional step. Now we're going to say corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, and your conclusion is going to be congruent angles or congruent sides. So maybe you're going to say that an angle is congruent to an angle, or maybe you're going to say that a side is congruent to a side, whatever the case may be. And then we can even take that even further, and maybe in some of the more complicated proofs, you now use these parts in order to prove a second set of triangles congruent, and so on and so forth. So this little piece actually unlocks a lot higher level proof. So I'm not going to give you crazy high level proofs yet. I want you to practice using this. But certainly when we get into advanced proofs, which is lesson 4 and 5, we're obviously going to do a lot more complicated type proofs. And so for now, go and practice, see what this looks like. Make sure you're paying very close attention to the answer key so that you can make sure that you're writing up your proofs correctly.